Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our Pikmin 4 Let's Play. Last episode, we finished off Olimar's shipwreck tale and unlocked a weird-looking cave that we can jump right into from our rescue camp. It's definitely a little peculiar. I said we're going to look into it immediately, and I'm holding to that promise. By going through this cavern and doing what we need to do inside, we can unlock some pretty good bonuses, so I definitely recommend doing this as soon as you can. Obviously, we haven't even gone to the next area yet. The next area that we can explore on our own, I should say. But again, I think the rewards from this cave right here are worth the detour. Doing it as early on as possible is definitely a good idea. So actually, hold on, real quick. Do we have any upgrades we can get? Because that might be a useful thing to look into. Let's see. We don't have a whole lot of raw material. No, we totally can't. That's fine. Yeah, whatever. Well, let's head right on over then. Just jump on OG and run right over here. Encountered a mysterious cave. Do you want to enter? Yes, I do. Let's enter. Here we go. Jumping in with Ochi. You'll notice that it's not really messing with our day timer. This is the first story of Bulb Access, Dandori level 3. You'll notice that this is a little bit different than most other caves in this game. And you'll see that holds true the further and further we go down. So do be ready for that. Excellent. I've grown tired of awaiting your arrival. So, you wish to become my apprentice? Say no more. I am able to see all, for I am what you might call the great master of the art of Dandori. I'll present you with 10 stories. With each success, you may ascend to the next story in your climb to Dandori greatness. It's been a while since I've tested a newcomer. Perhaps a special reward is in order as well. Now, let us begin your training. So before we start here, I'm actually going to do these next few episodes a little differently. We're going to try to get through this as quick as possible. And in order to do that, to make it so you're not watching a million failures, each floor of this cave is a very difficult challenge. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm actually not going to be commentating on it live. I'm commentating live, I should say. But once we start the challenges, it's going to change. And I'm actually just going to post me getting the platinum of these challenges. So you're going to get a cut very shortly here, probably immediately after this text box, to my successful platinum run of this. These challenges are very difficult and pretty long, too. So I'm expected to take quite a few tries to be able to do that. So I just want to, get it over with, get it done. Of course, that will mean I will be commentating afterwards. It will be like a post-commentary type situation. So I hope you guys don't mind that. But I do think that'll help you guys if you're trying to do this as well. You'll be able to see exactly what you need to do to get a platinum. So let us begin our training. Okay, here we go, guys. First story, Bull Boxes. Again, this is a post-commentary. So if it seems like I'm able to talk a lot more and not have to focus as much, is exactly why. This story honestly gave me the most trouble out of all of them, but it's just because I was kind of warming myself up. One thing you're definitely going to want to do if you're trying to follow after me is you'll notice I threw that one red Pikmin over to work on that mushroom little spore thing. You definitely want to do that. Getting that out of the way quick is a great idea, and having one Pikmin work on it lets you do that while also having most of your numbers. Getting Ochi to kill that red Bulborb was pretty good too. He loses a little bit of health, but not a whole lot. This Fiery Bulbox you can take on pretty easily if you're careful with the remaining 14 Pikmin you have. It's also a good idea to send Ochi to take on that Whip-Tongue Bulborb. He's going to take quite a bit of damage from it, but not enough for it to be too much of an issue. I did lose a single red Pikmin there to just kind of bad placement of myself. That's fine, though. You'll see both Bulborbs died at the same time, which is very nice. And I believe that saves me having to, knock down that ice barrier. You don't need to carry the corpses back in this mode, so definitely whistle your Pikmin back. There's absolutely no reason for them to carry that corpse, so we can run through that ice wall with Ochi to make a nice little shortcut. Definitely grab this bomb rock. You're going to want to use it on this bull bear and its dwarf bull bears following it. These things have a lot of health and can do a lot of damage, so being able to take them out is very nice. Hitting that, the bomb rock on the kids as well as the adult bull bear there was really nice. I wasn't able to do that in most of my runs before this, and doing that, I think, honestly, was probably one of the reasons that this run ended up being a successful one. I noticed that I got 2 little red Pikmin over on that body still, but I don't think it's worth it to really take the detour. We're going to jump up here. This upper level has quite a few Pikmin, as well as a few enemies for us. You'll see one of the icy Bulboxes, I believe they're called. There's a special way to take this guy on. We'll come back to him in just a second. First, I'm going to take out these guys right here so we can grab some more red Pikmin. Pretty easy to take out. Timing Ochi's rush at the correct time is really big. It's super important for getting this story done, as well as the following stories. You can see we're almost done. The cutoff for platinum, I should say, for this level is a minute 45. So we're nearing 10 seconds, 9, 8, and hopefully we'll be able to finish it. You'll see my ice Pikmin caught on fire there, but again, it doesn't matter as long as you take out the enemy. I accidentally pressed A, so you'll see we kind of just cut to the results screen there. You've passed. I will be waiting for you at the next trial. So moving on to the next trial. This next one I don't believe was as difficult. I think I got through this one moderately fast. I don't remember exactly how long each of these runs took me. It has been a day or two since I've done these. I got real busy, so I intended to record the voiceover immediately after, but unfortunately was not able to. Oh no, okay, so this one actually did take me quite a while, and what's annoying about this one is it's moderately long. This one, instead of killing all the enemies, you have to collect 45 pieces of raw material and then build the like ramp up to the sage leaf. Definitely, what's really important about these Dandori like challenges, especially these sage leaf ones, is increasing your Pikmin number right off the bat. The more Pikmin you have, the more you can kind of diversify what's going on. And also delegating tasks. Like you'll notice I only threw one red Pikmin onto that. That's because it's moderately close to where we need to bring those to. So by doing that, I can have a lot of Pikmin in my party while still starting to get that work done. Charging through there is a really good call. Instead of using my little like fire starter, I'm going to use it there so that we can have fire in this room. What's difficult about this challenge is that all the rooms are ice-based. So your Pikmin will get cold and freeze and stop whatever they're doing unless you're able to warm up the room with one of those fire starters. The moment you do, though, you're completely fine. Let's pluck all these Pikmin over here so we can have 5 more in our crew. If you are trying to get platinums in these, don't be discouraged if you're not able to do it pretty quickly. Each of these probably took me on average like 30 minutes of tries. Some of them taking longer than normal. I am only, at the time of recording this though, I'm only 5 stages in, so that might be easier, might be harder later on. Light these fire starters as soon as possible. They're 100% the thing you should prioritize in these rooms. As well as these like hay clusters. If you throw a fire starter at one of those ice like hydro jellies or any like ice barriers, it destroys your fire starter. So I recommend doing that last in any of these rooms. Taking out these cannon beetles is also really important. Otherwise, your Pikmin can kind of, get knocked around and stop carrying the raw material, which can really be a roadblock if you've delegated Pikmin to go do that and you kind of expect them to be done. I definitely recommend starting that fire starter up there too. That's a pretty important one. Your Pikmin will follow that route a lot of the time, so it's a good idea to get that started. This Icy Blowhog isn't too much of an issue. I do remember having a run slightly before this where something else went wrong, but that's why it wasn't the one we're showing here. But I actually avoided killing this thing completely, and my Pikmin were just fast enough to get around it, which is kind of crazy. These little piles are moderately far away from your home base, so you're going to want to try to throw quite a few Pikmin on them. I'm going to grab another fire starter back here to go into this next room with this big hydro jelly. There is a fire altar here, I think they're called. Definitely going to want to light that before you break this. That way you can immediately get another fire starter Pikmin. 10 raw material is quite a bit. I didn't mean to send Ochi over there. We're going to call him back. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. We are at 23 out of 45, but I believe all the raw material piles are accounted for at this point, except in that one room kind of right next to our home base. That's a little difficult. We're going to throw another little red guy on that one just to kind of help out there, just in case. And we can whistle these guys back because they were kind of headed back there. This cannon beetle right here can be a huge pain if you're not careful, so definitely be very cautious of that. Ochi actually can kind of take care of these guys on his own, so that's also a good thing to keep in mind. I believe in a second here I throw Ochi up there to kind of manage it completely by himself. Yep, there we go. He can kind of distract it from throwing the little snowballs as well as actually take it out pretty quick, as you can see there. It's like, there he goes. Getting these nectar eggs might be kind of helpful. Honestly, I never did. I didn't see it. Like, the speed improvement for the Pikmin wasn't really my issue here. It was kind of getting around and getting all the raw material locations. You can kind of send a Pikmin to build this ramp as you like walk around and work, but I found it just better to kind of do it right at the end. I do believe we're cutting a little closer. I think a minute 45 is the limit for this one too, if I remember correctly. We got our last little pieces of raw material running in now, and then obviously we got some Pikmin waiting for the material to build it here. I think we cut this one real close. There's a few where I was like right at the limit. I'm starting to get a little nervous at this point. I remember there were so many times where I'd cut it this close, and it was so stressful to like have it right at the end and not be able to do it in time. It looks like we had 4 seconds left there, so we were able to reach the sage leaf. Again, if that one takes you quite a while, don't worry. This one, I remember having a lot of trouble with this one too. I'd say this is probably in the first 5 the most difficult. I might eat my words with that. Seeing the later ones, I don't really remember them too well, but I do remember getting pretty frustrated at this one. Snow problem. So we were able to reach the Sage Leaf. We're gonna proceed right on in just a second. You've passed. I'll be waiting for you at the next trial. Going to proceed on. Again, if you are just in these for the rewards that I kind of mentioned earlier, you don't need to get platinums on these. You just need to pass, which is significantly easier than getting platinums on these. I obviously thoroughly enjoy putting my Dandori skills to the limit and really trying to get platinums on these. But again, if you just are in it for the rewards, absolutely don't need to. This one, you're going to need to collect all the treasure. We've been in this area. We've been in all these areas before, I believe, just in caves. So, or Dandori challenges, I should say, not necessarily caves, but here I made very good use of the go here function. I remember this one was very difficult. Again, getting your Pikmin numbers up early on is so big in these trials. So make sure to do that right off the start. Sending Ochi to go grab Pikmin is a great idea. I don't believe I remembered sending him and then kind of being like, no, don't do that. Switching to Ochi every now and then is a good call too. He has the 5 yellow Pikmin I needed, but I also remember there being a golden Flimpeel over here. I remember struggling a bit with this guy with just the 5 yellows. They fly too high, so they're kind of hard to actually like hit the beetle with them. He has 3 treasures inside him, so make sure to hit him that many times. Otherwise, you might miss out on some kind of hidden treasures. I remember really starting to panic there, like at the end, being like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get him," but I was. With all these Pikmin, I am able to carry all these treasures back, which is nice. That's a little yellow Pikmin there. I don't even remember coming back to get him. I think I left him there for a while. Digging through this tunnel is pretty big. This is the biggest treasure in the room. It takes 50 to carry. Obviously, I do not have 50 now, but there's quite a few Pikmin up here that I wanted to get, and also digging up the treasure is a lot of what's difficult about it. By having Ochi help throw yellow Pikmin at that, we can carry that back. You can also, technically, where I just sent Ochi, use ice Pikmin to get over there, so you can use yellow Pikmin or whatever over there. But honestly, using Ochi to get the treasures back from over there, I remember just was generically more useful. I'm going to send back my captain to go pick up the Pikmin. Able to get 5 yellow Pikmin over here, or I guess 4? No, that looked like 5. And you can start them digging it up while Ochi also starts digging that up. And again, Ochi can cross water while carrying stuff, so you can kind of use Ochi to carry those treasures back and not really have to worry about the yellow Pikmin. I'm just going to delegate a few Pikmin to start working on these treasures, digging them up and carrying them back. These white Pikmin that I'm plugging now are pretty useful. They are the fastest Pikmin in the game, so it is a good call to dig them up for some smaller treasures. Looks like we got some yellows carrying that little like ring pop looking thing back. We got a little hole down here that has some small treasure in it. I can't remember exactly what, but it's not super big. Again, we're going to switch to Ochi. Ochi's going to call these yellow Pikmin back and throw them over so that on the other side I can grab them. I don't remember if I actually did, but then just grab this treasure right here. There is another like hole, I believe, over there that you can dig up, but it's just nectar. Honestly, don't worry about it. You don't need the nectar for this challenge. I didn't end up using it at all, I don't think. I'm going to whistle our Pikmin. We're up to 32, so we're not quite at the 50 we need to go grab that big grapefruit. Otherwise, I probably would. We're going to have a white Pikmin start digging that up. It looks like a cherry. You should be able to do it just fine. Let's dig up all these. You'll notice if you're not careful, your Pikmin are going to have to pass a creeping chrysanthemum, which is obviously a big issue. So I'm actually going to freeze this water. I tried charging here, forgetting that I couldn't. And then that kind of messed me up a bit. I ended up having only 9, and then I couldn't throw this ice Pikmin because I was in the water. Once I stepped out, though, I was able to. Almost lost some Pikmin to that creeping chrysanthemum over there, but by getting the ice up, they were able to take a little detour around him and cross the significant shortcut. By doing that, you can save a lot of time, so I absolutely recommend doing it. I think the cutoff for this one was like a minute, maybe. You don't need to worry about that guy. You just kind of, I think, removes your Pikmin flowers, which isn't super important. At this point, I'm starting to round up all 50 that we need to be able to grab the giant grapefruit. I'm starting to worry about that too, so I'm going to send a little yellow on that. He should be fine, even though he's not the fastest type. It's a single cherry, like it's not a big deal. And definitely our roadblock is going to be this grapefruit, which we have just enough Pikmin. Oh, and a single extra ice Pikmin to carry back. At this point, I'm checking the map, and I go, oh, there's another treasure like right there buried, and I'd completely forgotten about it. And I was starting to panic a bit because obviously I only have a little bit of time left and only a few Pikmin. So I run over and I start quickly digging it up. I whistle all the Pikmin I can to grab it. It's only going to take 2, but digging it up is going to take some time. It looks like another die, so got all of our Pikmin that were working on the grapefruit now. They can work on digging this up. It should be back pretty quick. Looks like we got a bunch of white Pikmin on it. We're at 7 seconds. I think this is the one where I got it right at the cutoff. 3, 2, 1. Yep. And if it took just a second longer, I wouldn't have gotten the platinum, which is I was like biting my nails at the end of there. That was so scary. I'd completely forgotten there was a buried treasure there. I think that was the first run where I actually noticed it. And luckily I didn't have to go back for it too far. It was kind of right next to the base, and I was able to get it back pretty easily for the platinum in the third story. We are over halfway to the halfway point, so I guess I should have just said a quarter of the way there. The halfway point is where you get your first reward, though, so I definitely recommend getting there at least. You've passed. I'll be waiting for you at the next trial. Proceed on. Again, with these trials, you actually get 2 big rewards. One of them at the 5th story, and then one of them at the 10th story. I'd say the 10th story is definitely better. It is worth pushing on past that 5th point. This does technically take daytime. Like your days will pass while you're down here, but it only passes when you leave, and it can only pass 1 day. So if you do it all in one sitting, you're completely fine. You just pass 1 day. I notice this one we just have to reach the sage leaf, but to do that we need to collect 15 treasures. So gonna send Ochi over there to kind of help those wild blue Pikmin so we can grab them, as well as send the remaining 5 on that kiwi. I just noticed 2 blue Pikmin got launched over the edge there, which is really annoying, honestly. Apparently I was able to beat this one with that anyway, though. We're going to switch to Ochi and send him over there to pluck those pink Pikmin sprouts. Pink Pikmin are very useful in this challenge. I would say probably like absolutely necessary for some of the weird treasures. I actually go about this one in a very funny way, I remember. Plucking those Pikmin is really important. Over here, we got some cherries. We're going to send some pink Pikmin to fly those back. And then we got 2 left, as well as this little horde of blue Pikmin that I remembered seeing. Honestly, I don't really have much for them to do right now, so I'm just going to kind of send them to destroy this wall, which honestly doesn't even end up being that useful. But it is a good idea to get them out of the way so Ochi can use his swallow ability and grab that little star fruit. We got 5 flying Pikmin on us. I was trying to see if we can maybe sneak over there and grab them that way, but we cannot. You'll notice that big square there looks a little ominous, and you'll see why very momentarily, I believe. Ochi's carrying that star fruit all the way back. I think I cut him off. Yeah, right around here. I'm gonna leave that treasure. I'm gonna push this big block into place, and under it there are some blue Pikmin that I do remember grabbing. I got some more winged Pikmin I'm gonna pluck up here. We're up to 10, which is a pretty considerable number, especially for winged Pikmin. You'll see right here there's a giant something crawdad. I can't remember exactly what their names are. It's like a big boss enemy, and you'll notice he actually doesn't have a treasure within it. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. You don't necessarily need to beat this enemy. You just kind of need to figure out how to navigate your Pikmin around it. And I figured out how to do that after probably 3 tries of this, I think is how long it took me. This one wasn't bad at all. Navigating around him obviously can be a bit stressful, but most of the time your Pikmin are fast enough to kind of carry whatever they need around him. You'll see here I'm starting to take care of that. I'm grabbing these like sushi rolls or whatever. To bring around him. Winged Pikmin can actually completely bypass him, which is super useful, but obviously you have a very limited number of winged Pikmin. Gonna send all our Pikmin to carry this back. It's a little smarter to actually space them out. I didn't do that here, but I think I ended up being just fine. I'm pretty sure everyone snuck past this guy. Yeah, there it is. That's right. I spent this time kind of distracting him by turning him around. Even if he does lock onto the Pikmin, which I believe he does eventually, he needs to do this whole like shimmy over to lock onto them, as you can see here. And then I think that was just enough time for our blue Pikmin and Ochi to sneak past him without getting grabbed. There we go. Again, if you want to beat him, I honestly don't think it's worth it at all. Like, I think there's absolutely no reason to have to fight that thing. So definitely be cautious of that. Don't waste your time or potentially even Pikmin fighting him. I'm going to start sending some Pikmin. Oh, I guess I'm sending Ochi. Oh, right. Grabbing the stuff out of the water you can do pretty simply with Ochi, especially if you're not doing anything at the time. I'm going to pluck some more blue Pikmin out here. There's that big dragon fruit right next to base that I'm not super worried about because, again, it is right next to our base. We only need 5 treasures left. I don't remember what the cutoff is exactly for this this trial. I think I do have perfectly enough blue Pikmin to grab that dragon fruit. I do. I think I'm trying to remember or figure out what to do with my captain here. I think at this point I'm trying to look. I'm missing 2 pink Pikmin, and I don't remember where they were. I do remember finding them, though. I know I do very shortly. Ochi's going to grab that big mango. We're going to run over here. There's a pile of grapes you can see there. That's a really nice grab in there. The two pink Pikmin I was having trouble finding. Sending them to carry the grapefruit, or not grapefruit, just grapes, is very good. As well as sending a few blue Pikmin to grab that starfruit. I think I had to help them a bit on grabbing that starfruit. I think they had some trouble sneaking past that creature. You'll notice here, I realized I was short 2 blue Pikmin. Luckily, Ochi had just gotten home, so Ochi was able to throw 2 blue Pikmin down to grab the avocado, which is very nice. And it looks like, no, they were able to sneak past just fine. Might have been the avocado that was having some trouble, but I think at this point, that's the last treasure, and I don't remember exactly what the cutoff for platinum is on this map, but I must have been getting pretty close because I'm starting to move a little frantically here. I do remember this one did only take me 3 tries now that I think about it, but on the second try, I actually got really close. I'd gotten all the treasures back, and in the time it took for the gate to go down, like the animation of it to tick down to 0 and fall down, I lost. Those last few seconds were exactly what I needed, and unfortunately the game wasn't willing to give them to me. We were able to get all 15 treasures here, though. Gate drops down, and we're able to get to the sage leaf just fine. I saw at the end there, I didn't end up grabbing those 2 blue Pikmin that got thrown over the edge right in the beginning, which is a little funny. Didn't end up needing them, but we were able to reach the sage leaf anyway with quite a bit of time remaining. Again, I don't necessarily remember the cutoff for this, but getting a platinum means we're very easily able to pass it at least. So again, if that's what you're trying to do, don't stress too hard about this. Getting platinums is definitely, I think it's fun still, but it's definitely challenging. But again, if you're just trying to get the rewards you get for doing these and not necessarily like the completion like aspect of it, don't worry about it at all. Notice the Dandori level's up to 4 now here. We're at the halfway point. 5th story, the white key. This is where one of our big rewards is. You'll see it quite a bit, although I only really start bringing attention to it towards the end of our run. We've got to capture the white jewel, whatever that means. But first we have to collect 9 treasures. I definitely recommend weighing down that ball right there with the white Pikmin. They are fast. It's a good idea to do so. A winged Pikmin, or I think, yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I threw winged Pikmin on this this pool ball right here. You can also kind of throw rocks onto this ball here. You kind of gotta mess with your like target reticle a little bit to do that. Definitely also recommend taking down this cannon beetle right here. He can be a real issue later on, and if you have a bunch of rocks, it's not hard at all. You can just kind of throw them at him and attack with Ochi. Rocks do a lot of damage on impact. So some more white Pikmin over here, and you might have just gotten a glimpse of what we're here to try to grab. Let's pluck all these little guys and jump right back on Ochi. We're gonna turn right around and head this way. We can unlock a shortcut if we come this way first. And I think I recognize that. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Oh, I was trying to disband it. That's right. Then we're going to switch to Ochi, I believe. Yeah, and not grab the white Pikmin. What am I freaking out about? Okay, so I guess we're sending our captain alone. Oh, right. We're sending our captain alone to go grab the Pikmin that have already brought stuff back. Good idea to do that every now and then, especially on this map where you're kind of sending treasures back and you don't have a whole lot of Pikmin. Especially because flying Pikmin here can take some routes other Pikmin can't. Very well-placed charge there. Ochi's able to bite these guys down pretty quick, so I definitely recommend doing that. You can get some flying Pikmin early this way, which is a great asset in this level. Able to bite this guy out. There we go. Here we got a little climbing stick. I honestly recommend doing this. You can sneak past having to use it by using winged Pikmin to grab that pool ball up there, but the button that they'll step on is incredibly useful, so I absolutely recommend taking a little bit of extra time. We're going to grab all these guys back. Don't know quite yet why I didn't use the rock Pikmin on the stick. I think I go back and do that. Here I'm trying to figure out where to go next. I can sneak around there and start grabbing some of the treasures in the back with my main captain. I think here's when I notice that I have the 7 rocks. Yeah, so we're going to throw it at the stick, and it's going to start building it. Ochi's bite also builds it a bit, which is a very nice thing to do. It's a noticeable jump when Ochi bites. There we go, climbing stick extended. Some white Pikmin are to climb up there. Some rocks too, but we don't necessarily need them too. You just need 7 for each ball, and they're able to step on that button, which actually lowers a little gate, making it very easy for non-winged Pikmin to take some nice little shortcuts, as well as Ochi, so definitely recommend doing that. We're going to head... where are we going right now? Okay, over there, I guess, to get some more Pikmin, I believe, and a single treasure. Let's call these rocks down. Having multiples of 7 in this map is really important, so we want to have all we can. Where am I going with Ochi? Oh, right, there's a hanging treasure I haven't grabbed quite yet. Definitely want to make sure to grab that. Don't want to be right at the end and forget to do that. I'm gonna send my white Pikmin to do this, and then very quickly realize that wasn't a good call. When, despite the fact that they're white Pikmin, they can't get through. I think it's because the ball was too big. having some trouble getting them to lock onto those poison mushrooms, so just gonna have to throw them, which is totally fine. We got a little bit of time we can spend plucking these winged Pikmin. Ochi is now at the destination. We're gonna have our winged Pikmin carry that treasure back and grab these little guys. I believe I then, use the Go Here feature to head over to the next little area while I switch back to Ochi and weigh that nice treasure down. With Ochi, I think I run home and grab the remaining Pikmin. We're starting to finish it off. We have most of our treasure, at least in transit back home. I'm able to kill these guys pretty quickly with some white Pikmin, so it's not a big deal. There is some nectar eggs over here, and honestly, on white Pikmin, it's kind of useful, because white Pikmin are already so fast that making them even faster is kind of, like, broken, I think. That last one's Ultra Spicy Spray, which I don't even end up using, but might as well grab it. We're up to 14 white Pikmin. We can easily delegate 7 to grab that. And then I think we're going to head home. I think other than that, we have one last thing to grab, that being the white jewel that we've come here to grab. I definitely recommend getting as many winged Pikmin as possible to grab this thing. Makes it substantially easier. Obviously, we're going to be just kind of waiting for this ball, so I'm going to throw as many Pikmin as I can to kind of help with it. I think I switch it to white Pikmin here because they're technically way faster. Do I? I do. And I think it's noticeable. Like, I think even though we had 14 rocks and we only have 7 white Pikmin, I'm pretty sure that's still faster. We're going to head over to the white jewel. We can't take Ochi in just yet. But here it is, and this might look a little familiar to you. It's been a while since we've seen one of these, but this is the white onion. This is a first time. This is a splendid white jewel. Carry to the end, it shall be your reward. This is the first time a white onion has ever been in a Pikmin game, which is kind of crazy. So getting this back to our base is going to be super useful. I'm not sure why I whistled everyone back. Oh, I was just trying to get the winged Pikmin to grab it. That way they can take a nice little shortcut a little later. That's good to know. Obviously, we've got one little ball to get back, and then they can start carrying it out because there's a gate blocking the way. I think we're doing okay on time here. I think the cutoff's a minute 45. So we've got a bit over a minute to get it back at this point, which is a bit tough. You'll notice that there's a big boss enemy in the way, but we can kind of cheese it. We don't have to fight it at all. If we're a bit smart about it, we can kind of go the distracting method or the stunning method. I believe I have to stun it here for a second. The winged Pikmin actually make it quite a bit faster, assuming they don't lock on, of course. I do remember this. I was very excited to see this, and then this ended up being the shot I was going to use. They started pushing the big enemy. I'm not sure what they're called, but it looked like they were going to go over the edge for a second there, which would have been kind of funny. But no, we stopped right beforehand. Gonna have a few extra winged Pikmin that I believe I throw on to help speed it up a little more. I think this one cut it a little close, but not super bad. We're at the double carry speed at this point with our 20 winged Pikmin. They can go a little further, and then they can take a nice shortcut that cuts off quite a bit of time, which is obviously very, very useful in challenges like these. So they just have to bridge across that little gap right there. Oh, we're cutting it real close. We're at, I think, 20 seconds left. I'm starting to panic a little. I could definitely tell. Able to carry it up there. We got, 13 seconds for them to carry it just a little bit further. I do believe they were able to. With that being said, though, I'm going to start calling it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. This episode was a little bit different. Next episode is probably going to be the same. We're going to do the remaining 5 challenges, assuming I can fit them all in. So hope you guys are excited for that. We're able to get the white onion back. We should get that the moment we go back up to the surface. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and tune in next time if you want to see us finish this off. And again, thank you for watching, and have a good day. Apple.